So the government has banned all that, and a 30-day amnesty period is provided for citizens to turn these firearms over to the local authorities. At the end of this amnesty period, several citizen groups form who refuse to turn their firearms over. Consider the following. I would fire on U.S. citizens who refuse or resist the confiscation of firearms banned by the U.S. government. 26.34%, with 11% saying they had no opinion, said yes they would. Ladies and gentlemen, I proved my hypothesis with this snapshot concerning unit cohesion and using the Marines, which everyone knows, Semper Fi, who are there, who really have historically lived out their oaths to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. That then and now, I was not only sad, but I was mad. And today I'm declaring to you, I'm a MAD. And this is what this stands for me personally. A-M-A-D. American Militia Against Despotism. Thank you for your time.
And his study, his survey, is evidence of why we need Oath Keepers and why we need this organization to spread the word and make sure that when he goes back and does another survey, he finds out that 100% of them say, hell no. So now, what I want to do next is bring up a couple of gentlemen who have established and demonstrated their commitment to defend the Constitution by their actions. As General Washington said, the conduct of this Army will decide. Well, here's some gentlemen who by their conduct have shown you the path. First I want to bring up Sheriff Richard Mack. Now, those of you who don't know, Sheriff Mack is a gentleman who for many years has stood up. In fact, he went to the U.S. Supreme Court and won a case. He'll tell you about that. He stood up on multiple occasions against multiple enemies of our republic. Here he is. Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much for having me. Let's do housekeeping first. Everybody over here, come and join the crowd. Let's get together. Let's show ABC, NBC, CBS that we're together. Come over here as much as we can. There's lots of room. If you can over here, there's lots of room to sit down over here. I need to see your strength and feel your strength, to see your eyes and feel the spirit of freedom that's at this place. I want to thank Oath Keepers. We've recently been married. When I was sheriff in Arizona, I kept my oath. And it cost me my job. Who cares? So what? I got another one. Yeah, got another. All right, I love this, how this looks. This looks really powerful. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I also want to thank Ed Vieira and everybody who made this event possible. This is the first time in my life that I've been to Lexington. And I honor the men that are here today that have defended our country, the veterans of war that Janet Napolitano is afraid of. You can be on my team any day. I love you and honor you and thank you for your service.
You guys can come 10 minutes.
Okay. there's some very fundamental things that have brought us here together, and it's the issue of freedom. And I want every peace officer in this country to know and understand that you're personally and morally responsible for keeping your oath of office. And there's no excuses for you either. And my new book explains all of that. The County Sheriff, America's Last Hope. And it's all about keeping your oath of office, and also the case that I won at the United States Supreme Court in 1997. And I filed a lawsuit while I was still sheriff, and I filed the lawsuit against the Bill Clinton administration. And so you might say that I was the only person in history to sue Bill Clinton on a non-sexual matter. But there's something very fundamental that every peace officer in this country needs to remember. Every member of the military needs to remember that we are part of government. And after that famous part of the Declaration of Independence, where it talks about that we're all created equal and that we're endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, chief among those life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, then what's the next principle involved? It says why we have government. And it says strictly and succinctly that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. That's your job. As a peace officer, as a sheriff, as a deputy sheriff, as a member of the military. And every deputy on my department was required to keep a pocket Constitution and Declaration of Independence right there. Now why, we talk about oath keepers. Why do we take an oath? Where is it that we're required to take an oath? Why do we take the oath? It's required by the Constitution itself. Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution states clearly, the senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers. Sheriffs and peace officers are part of the executive branch. We're the executors of the law, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. Now, so not only are we required to take an oath to the Constitution, we're required to follow the Constitution without advocating any of that to anyone else. My moral judgment was my own. I work by, for, and of the people to do just that. I have promised them that I will protect and defend their constitutional rights. Okay? Now, in this amazing book, page 1, now anybody can read this. It's really short, so you can read it. Any cop can read it while he eats a donut. That's fine. But Thomas Jefferson on page 1, very first page. When all government shall be drawn to Washington as the center of all power, it will render powerless the checks provided and would become as venal and oppressive as the government from which we separated, the one that started here. So we have King George III all over again. Who can we depend on today to protect us from venal and oppressive government? How about the people who have promised to do that? Your sheriff, your chief of police, your rookie cop. And might this, if you stand for the Constitution and keep your word, might it threaten your job? Who cares? Keep your word. Yeah. Now, I want you to know something that came right from the United States Supreme Court. This was my decision. This is quoted in this decision. I resurrected this. This booklet is irrefutable, undisputable evidence that the sheriff, not only has the responsibility and duty, but he's already given his word that he will protect you from tyranny.